In this video, I'm going to help you build your version of Video Vicky. This is your ideal viewer avatar, and I recommend that everybody has one of these, especially if you're using something like chat to help you with come up with content ideas, that kind of thing, which of course we're going to do in this video series. But the other thing that's good about this is having somebody to talk to. If you build an avatar like this, you've got somebody to always talk to when it comes to creating your YouTube videos. I know people find it very difficult to talk to a camera, talk to a lens, just like I'm doing here. So having someone like Video Vicky reminds you and gives you focus of exactly what Video Vicky is struggling with. And to help you with that, I've given you a little download as well. So if you go to the description of this video, you'll see this download. It's called the Ideal Avatar. It's a PDF. You could print it like I've printed it. You know, it's nice to have it printed. Some people like to fill these things out. We do these when we do live sessions in the UK, and it has a basic business information stuff there, and then it has ideal viewer avatar, and we start filling that in. But the other great thing about it is when we start using chat, if you don't want to fill it in, if you don't want to print it out, if you're conscious of the world and all of those things, then you can take the PDF and just drop it straight into chat and use that as the basis for everything we're talking about today. Okay, so I'm going to run through it. I'm going to show you step by step how we use chat to work on that ideal viewer avatar, and then hopefully by the end of this session you can see exactly what your avatar looks like. And it's great when you ask chat to create a picture, by the way, even though it gets spellings all wrong. Let's jump into it and let's see what happens. Okay, so you can see I'm in ChatGPT now. You can use any version of whatever AI you choose to make this happen. And you can see I've just dropped in the ideal viewer avatar. So it just saves you a bit of time. You could ask chat to come up with this itself as well. But by using mine, it just gives you a little bit more structure. Again, you'll find that in the description. So it sees all the questions that I want it to ask then. Pain points, goals, aspirations, all that kind of stuff. And then what I've done here is I've gone through and I've asked it to check out my website. So if you want a little shortcut on creating your ideal viewer, then ask it to visit your website. So in my case, my website is kingofvideo.co.uk. I asked it to go and visit the website and see what it's all about. It gave me a bit of information, what it could see from the website. If you don't have a website, you can skip this step, right? And you can just go through the avatar one at a time. We'll do that in a second anyway. And then it tells me a little bit more about what the avatar is. I ask it to go and visit my my Academy website, which is the offer that we have. So when I'm talking to Video Vicky, what I want Video Vicky to do is to come into my Academy. My Academy is a membership website. It's where we meet every Monday and we do all of this cool YouTube stuff. So it just goes in and summarizes what's in there. And then I say, right, give me the questions one at a time. Well, I said that right at the top if you missed it. So I said the prompt here. So I want you to ask me these questions one at a time. If I don't know the answer, can you help suggest some answers? This means that we're going through this ideal client avatar one at a time, rather than being overwhelmed with all the questions that are in there. And also what happens is chat starts to ask you loads of different questions. So if we ask it to go one at a time, we can just skip through it all. Okay, so I ask it, can you start asking me these questions one at a time? So it starts doing that. And then I say this, which is great if you have a website. If you don't have a website, you can't ask this. I say, whilst we're doing this, from the websites you visited, can you build the ideal client already? So can we skip all of the questions and can you just start building it out? And it does. It builds it out and it tells me exactly, it fills all the information in for us. And then there's some other things that I ask it to do. I say, it asked me like what level of education. It couldn't find that out from the website. There might be some questions it's missing. Maybe you could ask the question, hey, from this, after visiting my website, what questions are we missing here? One of the great questions. Can you suggest maybe 10 different channels? Right, so one of my questions in there is, what types of YouTube channels do they typically subscribe to? And I said, hey, can you suggest some channels? And I love that it comes up with these different ones. It suggests the King of Video website, which great company to be in, but I think it's just flattering me more than anything else. And then I asked for podcasts as well. I mean, this is great really to get some inspiration for podcasts. What podcasts are my ideal clients listening to? Maybe if I listen to some of these, I'll get in the mind of my ideal client, that kind of thing. So that's really great as well. And now we get to the fun part. Now we get to give our ideal viewer avatar a name. And I said, hey, can you give me 10 different names that we might want to have? You can pick your own name, of course, but it came up with a bunch of different names. And actually, when I first did this a while ago, I remembered Video Vicky. It really stayed in my mind. So I said, yeah, let's stick with that. That one seems to be memorable anyway. And then we looked at some taglines as well. So taglines are quite nice. An ambitious business owner ready to grow our audience and leads with a thriving YouTube channel. And then I said, can you create a hyper-realistic photo of what you think she looks like? And I love this. I love that I've got a nice real person that I could talk to. So imagine if you're doing this stuff, you could take that picture of Video Vicky. One of the confidence tips I give to people is to talk to somebody behind the lens. So you could print this picture of Vicky out, stick it behind your camera, and then you're always talking to your ideal client, right? You've always got someone that you're focused on. You know exactly what her wants and desires are in terms of the business that you've created. Okay, we talk about various other things here as well, and then I asked it to do this thing. Can you create a Canva graphic which has Video Vicky in the middle, maybe an illustrated version with all the attributes that we need? And this is the first version it came up with. Now, I showed you the other version that I have, the one that I've printed out, but I really like this one. It actually misspelled a couple of things. This is supposed to say takeaway, I think, or tagline, and there was a few other things there, but I just love this. I had to give it no more information, and I got this. And the one thing I'll say about this is having something like the picture behind the camera is great. Having the picture on your desk, a reminder all the time that this is who you're talking to, this is what their interests are, this is who they are, will help you create content for this person. Okay, so this is how we're collaborating with AI to help us come up with our ideal viewer avatar. It's not a case that we're going to just let AI do everything. We are going to ask it some questions. It's going to ask you some questions. We can't just assume that AI will know everything about the person that we're talking to. But the more that we create these things, the better it's going to get. Oh, one last thing I forgot to show you. The last thing I forgot to show you is that what I actually do then is I take all of that information and I ask ChatGPT to give me a docx version, a Word version of this ideal viewer. What I've noticed is when you're creating documents, if you after a while the document's not available to download again, so you have to ask it to do the same thing. Okay. This is my ideal viewer avatar. So this is the document that I've created, or that Chat created for me, all with headings. So that's great. So now I can close that off. But what I then do is, if I go to my YouTube channel chat, what I can do is add Video Vicky to my project files. So now this means when we do the next step of the planning journey, we can have Video Vicky in mind with everything that we're doing. So now when we're creating content ideas, rather than just using what YouTube tells us that we need to do or what anyone else tells us to do, if you're doing YouTube for business and you're focused on your ideal viewer, then this is going to help us find specific videos for us and for our ideal viewer. If you've enjoyed this video all about Video Vicky, there is another video here or somewhere around this video where you can watch the rest of the planning series. It's a whole series, a playlist just for you. Also, don't forget to download the ideal viewer avatar document so that you can get started inside of Chat. And remember, create your own version of Video Vicky.